Welcome to KMUZ Theatre Talk. I'm Ann McBride.
And I'm Ed Shopes. Ann and I are here the first and third Fridays of the month to bring you all the news and interviews about what's happening in the Mid-Willamette Valley theater world.
On today's program, Ed and I will talk with director Kelly Janssen and two actors from the ever-popular musical Grease, opening at the Gallery Theatre in McMinnville on September 6th.
And in our second segment, we'll hear about Pentacle Theatre's 2025 season from Executive Director Stephen Trahan and Script Reading Committee Chair Laura Davis. But first, let's get started with the KMUZ Theatre Talk calendar. Take it away, Ann.
Albany Civic Theater at albanycivic.org. August 23rd through 31st, you can see ACT's Youth Summer Camp Show, Disney's The Little Mermaid Jr. Coming up September 20th through October 12th on the Albany Civic Theater main stage is a special event production of Evil Dead the Musical, directed by Joanna Spencer.
Brush Creek Playhouse is at brushcreekplayhouse.com, and The Schoolmarm's in Trouble is a melodrama that plays through August 18th. See Brush Creek's website and Facebook page for information on that one. The Things My Mother Taught Me runs September 27th through October 13th at Brush Creek Playhouse. Look to their website or Facebook page for audition information.
The Elsinore Theater at elsinoretheater.com for information about local events and touring shows on stage at the Elsinore. Go to their website and Facebook page.
Gallery Theater is at gallerytheater.org, and the ever-popular musical Grease will be on stage September 6th through 29th at Gallery Theater. Grease is directed by Kelly Janssen, who joins us later in our program with two actors from the show. And auditions for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang are September 8th and 9th at Gallery Theater. That show opens November 12th and closes December 15th.
Kaiser Homegrown Theater at kaiserhomegrowntheater.org. The young actors of the Kaiser Homegrown Conservatory will premiere Lovecrafted August 23rd through 31st. It's directed by Lorianne Schmidt. She says Lovecrafted is a world premiere horror piece written for our troupe by Laramie Dean, who writes specifically for young adult casts. We're thrilled to say he is flying in from Montana for opening night. The young folks are accompanied on stage by some adult mentors, including Robert and Janet Henry. The Thanksgiving play takes the stage at Kaiser Homegrown Theater November 1st through 17th. In this wickedly funny satire by Larissa Fasthorse, good intentions collide with irrational assumptions as a group of terminally woke teachers scramble to create a pageant that somehow manages to celebrate both Turkey Day and Native American Heritage Month. It's directed at Kaiser Homegrown Theater by Mia Abedaka. You can hear our talk with Mia on our July 5th KMUZ Theatre Talk podcast.
The Majestic Theater is on Facebook and at majestic.org. And Mr. Burns, a post-electric play, runs September 20th through 29th at the Majestic. After a collapse of civilization, an episode of The Simpsons and other snippets of pop culture become the live entertainment of a post-apocalyptic society from which new forms of performance are created. The Majestic's Youth Theater is bringing A Midsummer Night's Dream to the stage August 23rd and 24th at 7 p.m.
Merely Players at merelyplayersoregon.com is a traveling Shakespeare company based in Corvallis that performs irreverent, fast-paced takes on the Bard's plays. Their latest foray into twisting the canon is Henry IV, The Follies of Falstaff, a comic history that pits drunken hijinks against political drama. The final date for this show is August 17th at Tyee Wine Cellars in Corvallis. For information and tickets, go to merelyplayersoregon.com or visit their Facebook page.
Mid-Valley Musical Theater is at mvmtheater.org and also on Facebook. Their summer musical Mamma Mia runs through August 17th at the Albany Performing Arts Center at West Albany High School.
For the Mid-Valley Theatre Network, co-directors Jeremy Clubb and Andy Bean will hold auditions for Evil Dead the Musical August 17th at the Grand Theater in downtown Salem. Get the lowdown about auditions and the show from Jeremy and Andy on our KMUZ Theatre Talk podcast. Evil Dead the Musical runs October 24th through November 3rd on the Schmidt Community College stage with a special show on Halloween. The show will benefit the Mid-Valley Theatre Network and its member theaters. Watch for some fundraisers coming up this summer to support the show. The karaoke night was a big success, and they plan for another one in early October. You can check out the DoTheNecronomicon.com webpage for more information.
Pentacle Theatre is at pentacletheatre.org. The side-splitting murder mystery farce Clue on stage comes to the Pentacle Theatre August 23rd through September 14th. It's written by Sandy Rustin and others and directed at Pentacle Theatre by Brandon Gitchell. Clue on stage is inspired by the well-known movie and the beloved board game. The story unfolds at a secluded mansion where 6 strangers gather for a very peculiar dinner party filled with murder and blackmail. In addition to the literal rainbow of guests, the cast also includes a butler, a maid, a cook, a cop, and the mansion's host, who else but Mr. Body. You can learn more about the show from Brandon and 2 actors from the production on our KMUZ Theatre Talk podcast. And coming up on September 21st at Pentacle Theatre are auditions for Miss Bennet, Christmas at Pemberley, and that's at the Pentacle Theatre Rehearsal Studio in downtown Salem. It's written by Lauren Gunderson and Margot Melcon and is directed at Pentacle Theatre by Jennifer Jimszewski. It plays November 29th through December 21st. For audition information, go to pentacletheatre.org/auditions. And after Clue on stage closes, Footloose the Musical will run at Pentacle Theatre October 11th through November 2nd. You can also learn more about Footloose on our KMUZ Theatre Talk podcast interview with director Jerry Greeno. And Joe Dodge's acting workshop for actors 18 and older is at Pentacle Theatre's rehearsal studio in downtown Salem. The fall season is coming up for Joe's acting workshop, so go to pentacletheatre.org or see the Pentacle Theatre Facebook page to sign up.
The Salem Playhouse at thesalemplayhouse.com offers acting classes for both kids and adults. To sign up, go to thesalemplayhouse.com and click on the Classes tab.
Spotlight Community Theater is at spotlightct.com and on Facebook. Spotlight Community Theater presents Charlie's Aunt, directed by Shannon Rempel, September 19th through 29th. Spotlight also has openings for play directors. Contact them through their Facebook page or at spotlightct.com.
Struts and Frets Theater Company at strutsandfretstheater.org. They are doing Shakespeare's All's Well That Ends Well, and it runs September 25th through 28th at Eola Hills Wine Cellars. Casting is still open, and they are accepting submissions through the casting page at strutsandfretstheater.org.
On the college front, director Stephen Munshaw and professional members of the Willamette Valley theater community are working together with Chemeketa Community College to present Lionel Bart's classic musical Oliver every Tuesday evening in August at the Jerry Frank Amphitheater in Salem's Riverfront Park. For tickets, go to chemeketa.edu and Eventbrite. Check out the really fun interview on our KMUZ Theatre Talk podcast with Oliver choreographer Christopher Dean and the actors playing Oliver and Dodger in this family-friendly musical.
Western Oregon University at wou.edu/theater. WOU Theater 24-25 season is in the works. Here's what we know so far. The Other Shore by Gao Xinjian plays this fall at WOU Theater, and that's followed by a TBD show later this season, and Tiny Beautiful Things next spring.
Willamette University at wutheater.com, and WU Theater's 2024-25 season of plays has been announced, and it includes Urinetown the Musical, a hilarious satire set in a city that bans private toilets during a 20-year drought, forcing people to pay to pee at public loos. Urinetown runs November 1st through 17th. February 14th through 23rd, Willamette Theater presents Far Away, an hour-long futuristic nightmare in 3 short scenes that envisions a world where the promise of violence broods and nothing is to be trusted. Closing out the Willamette Theater season, April 11th through 26th, is Bloom, Bloom, Pow, the climate doom comedy inspired by 1950s monster movies and the real-life 2014 crisis in Toledo, Ohio, when tap water became deadly for humans due to toxic algal blooms. Get more information and reserve your season tickets at wutheater.com.
On the high school front, the high schools are starting up, but we don't have a lot of information yet. North Salem High School on Facebook at NSHS Theater. Auditions for The Ash Girl are August 21st and 22nd from 4:15 to 6:15 in the auditorium. More information is on their Facebook page. And that wraps up today's KMUZ Theatre Talk calendar for plays around the Mid-Willamette Valley.
Today's first guests on KMUZ Theatre Talk are director Kelly Janssen and actors Victor Polanco and Waverly Schmidt from Gallery Theater's production of Grease, opening September 6th.
Welcome to KMUZ Theatre Talk, everyone.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you.
Grease is probably the most iconic 1950s flavored musical written. It's gone through many iterations. It's been an off-Broadway production, been on Broadway, it's been done worldwide. There's been a movie and a sequel to it. Kelly, what has brought you to Grease, and why do you want to do this show at Gallery Theater?
Well, I went and saw the movie Grease when I was a little girl with my mom. And my mom is the consummate 1950s gal. She was the head of her Elvis Presley fan club, and she just lived the 1950s through and through. And so for my entire life, Grease has been quite special in my family. So I grew up standing on my bed at 8 years old, singing Hopelessly Devoted, and have loved this musical since then. And I'm over 50 now, so it's been quite some time. Like you said, it is an iconic musical, and it is a fun musical, and it draws people in to kind of escape, the cares of the world. And that is something that drew me to it. And I've always just loved it and wanted to put it up and produce it at Gallery.
Which version are you guys doing? There's been several different versions that have grown out of the Grease phenomenon.
We are doing the one with the added 4 songs from the movie. So we have the stage version, but we also get to add Hopelessly Devoted, Sandy, You're the One That I Want, and Grease as the title song. So we're really excited about that.
Wow, this is so much fun. It's just an escape for everyone to go to the 50s for a few minutes. How are you staging this? Are you going to bring a car on the stage?
Well, that's a surprise for all of our art patrons. And we are trying to stage it as exciting as possible, including a lot of color, 50s era colors. Mm-hmm. There's going to be an ode to the jukebox in the set. We're choosing very vibrant and exciting colors for our costuming. It's a permanent stage setting, but it's large and exciting. We're using projections to kind of set the scenes. So there's a lot of exciting things going on to kind of build energy. And that's one of the things that draws me to a show is I like to create energy in the shows that I direct. Thankfully, with the leadership of Waverly and Victor playing Sandy and Danny, they have really brought a lot of that energy, and the cast has just responded to them well as far as cast leaders have gone. And our show is going to be phenomenal. I'm not sure how much dancing Gallery Theater has seen as far as the level of dancing we're going to see here. There's just so much dancing going on, and the entire stage will be filled with partner dancing and 50s dancing. And it's just, I mean, I challenge anyone to come see it and try to not smile at least once. So it's going to be a fantastic show.
And I was just going to ask about the choreography. Who's doing the choreography? Are you?
Actually, no, someone much better than me. Kathleen Vandeveer of BDV Productions is our choreographer, and we are so fortunate to have her and her high level of talent and experience. And so she is just knocking it out of the park.
And the dance in the gym will be wonderful.
Yes, there are 2 huge group numbers in that scene, and they are amazing. And the kids, I call them kids, but they're, the young folk that are in it just are going at it and giving it their all. One of the amazing things about Kathleen Vandeveer as choreographer is she's able to take people at various dance experience levels and make them all look like they have been dancing for years. And so we are super, super excited to have her.
That's wonderful.
Well, that's really great. That I have to kind of give away a little secret here. Well, it's not such a secret. I've been in a show on the arena stage at Gallery Theater for the last few weeks, and we use the main stage as our warm-up space before the show. And I got to tell you, the set that I've been watching grow on the main stage is really, really cool. It looks like somebody spilled sherbet ice cream all over it. It's got so many different colors. I think you're right, Kelly. It's going to be a really lively, vibrant show. Now, I want to turn to the actors for just a second. There are 2 main roles that everybody remembers from this show. The greaser Danny Zuko, and then the sweet little new Polish girl, Sandy Dombrowski, who's played by Waverly Schmidt. So, Victor Polanco, you're playing Danny Zuko. Tell us a little bit about your character and what draws you to him.
So Danny Zuko is the leader of the Burger Palace Boys, is what we call it in our version of the script. In the movie, you'd know that group as the T-Birds. But this is a group of kind of rough and tumble greasers. They don't prioritize school. They really prioritize hanging out. They prioritize cars and making passes at girls. Danny himself actually does have a bit of a soft side, and Sandy gets to see that in the summer leading up to the school year, that he doesn't like the other greasers especially to see, but also some of the pink ladies. He's not too keen on showing that to them as well. So he's got a lot of conflict within him, trying to balance this image that he wants to present to the people around him, and also trying to win Sandy back as the school year goes on, because she's not too happy with the performance that Danny's been putting on. But overall, he's a charismatic guy. He's a strong leader. He's got some good jokes in there a couple times. Bit of a narcissist, but nothing you can't just smile at when you walk off stage. Yeah, I feel very special to be stepping into this role.
And Waverly, how do you feel about Sandy?
Sandy, she's so sweet and innocent, and she's deemed kind of to be too pure to be pink ladies who aren't so innocent. Sandy's always been a character super close to my heart, and I've always really related to her. She's super authentic, and she's kind, and she always assumes the best of people until they prove her wrong.
How did you prepare for this role?
I've been going to private school my whole life, so I actually have definitely connected with her because I ended up going to public school starting out in high school. So I'm definitely able to see a lot of the experience she goes through. Like, I've definitely had some of those things happen to me.
So you guys are playing high school. How old are you?
I am going in my senior year of high school. So I'm 17.
Oh.
I'm the same age as Sandy, which is pretty cool.
Wow. And Victor, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going into my senior year of college this year. So excellent casting on the part of Kelly for that Sandy role. I'm playing a little bit younger, but some people tell me I have a baby face, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. Yeah, the chemistry on stage works out pretty well, and Waverly is a fantastic actress to be on stage with. So we make it work out.
Tell me, Kelly, what are some of the challenges that you've had to solve to bring this show to the main stage at Gallery Theater?
I think with all summer shows, one of the biggest challenges is just cast and crew schedules and, kind of fitting that rehearsal schedule together into like a perfect little jigsaw puzzle, making all those pieces fit. So with a lot of, summertime in Oregon is when people get away on vacation, and, we're all volunteers at our community theater. So, of course, they're going to need time off. And as a director, I decided long ago to be as flexible as I possibly can while not compromising show quality. So we have worked really hard at piecing that schedule together, while at the same time, I've been very, very fortunate to have a cast that is so dedicated and so excited about what they're doing as a group and as a community as a whole, that if they are gone, they work really, really hard to get caught up. And we use a Facebook page to post videos of all of the scenes that we block and all of the dances that we do and the choreography, so that they can catch up on their own time or be rehearsing while they're on vacation and those sorts of things. And that helps them to still feel a part of the show when they're gone, but also helps us because then we don't fall too far behind. So that's one of the biggest difficulties, I think. But I think that's a pretty common one. And directors these days just have to figure out how to, find the workarounds.
I think the Facebook idea is a great workaround.
Thank you. It works great for us. And we're moving into an era, ironically, where Facebook isn't the cool thing anymore for young folks.
Yeah.
But so some of them are now, getting Facebook accounts just so that they can have the communication. But it's a really great way to have a central focal communication point and a place where the crew can connect and the cast can connect to each other and post funny experiences or Grease related stories. And it just helps with cast bonding as well.
Can you give us a quick synopsis of the plot of the show, Kelly?
Prior to the senior year of the Pink Ladies and the Burger Palace Boys, Sandy and Danny meet on vacation at the beach and they fall in love. And Sandy sees a very sweet side of Danny and she kind of brings that out in him. And then they go their separate ways for fall, not expecting to see each other. Unexpectedly, they end up at the same school. And thus goes the storyline of their kind of navigate that and figure that out with the roles that they are, especially Danny's role and who he is in the Burger Palace Boys and how Sandy tries to fit into the culture and the people at the school. And then it kind of goes throughout the school year. And we kind of end up seeing, I don't know if I want to give the end away, but it's so iconic. Most people probably already know it. But, it ends really well for both Sandy and Danny. Let's put it that way. And the rest of the cast. It's a happy ending. It's a feel-good show. Lots of toe tapping and amazing 50s doo-wop music. And it's just incredible.
Yeah, the music really is the focus here. I think the music is what everyone really takes away from this show, even more than the storyline. It's been such a popular vehicle.
What's your band like?
We are actually using tracks. We don't have a band. So we have started doing more pre-recorded. We're using a track for that.
So you have all the instruments.
Yes, we have all the instruments. We have a very full sound. As a director, it kind of alleviates some problems with tempo or those kinds of things. So it's a very full, very vibrant, very 50s sound, which is excellent.
This play kind of has a little bit of a checkered history. I don't think many people know about this, but it was originally written as a nightclub production in Chicago, and it was pretty raunchy for its time, and it has kind of evolved into what we see on stage and what we have seen on screen. I think the film version really helped to bring this show to a sweeter spot. Is there anything that you kind of miss from earlier versions that are not in this version of the show, Kelly?
Not really. I think, especially having been exposed to Grease first through the movie, I was always kind of drawn to that sweetness of it. There are some raunchy pieces to it, and the script is even a little more raw, shall we say, than the movie at times, but it is still definitely PG rated. I like the idea of it appealing to a wider audience as far as bringing the joy and the excitement of the 50s and the music. And the nostalgia is a huge piece for me for people who are my parents' age, as well as generations go on. It's really exciting to get it exposed to past generations' music and the importance of it. We did a lot of that at our first cast meeting of kind of introducing the younger cast, especially to what the 50s were like and what they dressed like and what it was like to live in that era and what it was like to date in high school. And we did a sock hop together and we did the stroll and we did the pony and did the mashed potatoes and all of those things together. So it was really fun. And that helped build friendships and start breakdown, help people feel comfortable with each other early on. So it's been great.
Well, here's a little secret. Those are all dances from my senior year in high school. So I'm pretty hip to that groove,
Yes, it's right there for you. I hope you come see it.
Okay, so I just want to ask the actors what their favorite part of the musical is. Waverly?
Probably my favorite part has to be Summer Nights. I mean, that's definitely like the most iconic song. I can ask any of my teenage friends and everybody can sing it for me, you know? So it's just such a dreamy scene. I don't know if I can explain it, but it's so enjoyable to do. And it's a great way to kind of introduce the characters too.
And Victor?
When you initially asked that question, my mind initially went to those 2 high school dance numbers that open up the second act, because those are just so fun, so much energy, and we're dancing our socks off. But I think I'll have to side with Waverly on this choice and go with Summer Nights, and maybe broaden it up to any time we get all the greasers on one side of the stage together and joking around with each other. We've really grown a lot as a cast just in the couple weeks that we've been together. So at this point, it's very easy to have fun, even though we're putting on characters and we're limited by the script. Oh man, we're just laughing almost the whole time. And of course, that song is iconic. So it's a joy for me to sing and a joy for me to dance around too. So I've got to agree with Waverly on that.
I hope people will come ready to smile and feel good and gain the energy that they're going to feel from the stage and just kind of escape their world for a while and just be a part of the live theater experience and the art of that and the community coming together. And we're just really excited to see everybody come out, and we're working really, really hard to put on an excellent show. And we're not going to let anybody down. So I just wanted to say that. Super excited.
We've been talking with director Kelly Janssen and actors Victor Polanco and Waverly Schmidt from the Gallery Theatre production of Grease, opening September 6th and running through the 29th at Gallery Theatre in McMinnville. Shows are Monday through Saturday evenings at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday matinees are at 2 p.m. You can get more information and tickets for the show at ValleyTheatreNetwork. Thanks again, Kelly, Victor, and Waverly for joining us here on KMUZ Theatre Talk.
Yes, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us. It was a delight to be here and talking with you about this wonderful show.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Joining us for our second interview are Executive Director Stephen Trahan and Script Reading Committee Chair Laura Davis, who are here to tell us about Pentacle Theatre's 2025 season and where to get season tickets.
Welcome to Theater Talk, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Hello, Ed.
Hi, Laura. You know, Pentacle season just celebrated its 70th anniversary. That's quite an accomplishment. And I think part of the reason Pentacle's been around for so long is the kinds of plays that the theater picks for its seasons. The 2025 season is starting in January. Season tickets just went on sale. Laura, as chair of the script reading committee, can you tell us a little bit about the theme of the 2025 season?
The theme is really, we want to get engagement within the community. We really want to engage with our Pentacle community. We want shows that are going to excite people to come and audition, all types of people. We want to excite our technical individuals, costumers. And we really want to engage within our community and get the community excited to come out to the theater and enjoy these shows. So we really are striving for the season to get that engagement within the Pentacle community and our Salem, Oregon community.
And there are a lot of plays available. As the head of the script reading committee, you must have read a lot of plays.
That is correct. We not only looked at straight plays, we also read musicals. So there were about 20 musicals we read in 60 plus shows.
Oh, that's a full-time job.
It is a process.
It's pretty impressive process too. I just love watching Laura and the committee, the body of people who are really engaged, embrace this process. And with all of those titles and all of that content, it's wonderful to see things sort of pared down because, you know, there's everything from A to Z, sunshine to darkness in content, you know, explorative pieces that are very art for art's sake, very dark, very serious, lots of comedy. And so it's wonderful that to see that we've landed on this very strong season that I think is going to really be open and accessible to a lot of people.
Yes, you've got classics and new productions and wonderful musicals.
Well, tell us a little bit about the season, you guys. What's the first one up in January?
We're starting off our season with what we call in the theater world a chestnut show. It is Arsenic and Old Lace. It is directed by Scott Ramp. It is a farcical Black comedy revolving the Brewster family and a little bit of arsenic and a few bodies flying around.
And a lot of comedy.
And a lot of comedy. And then, Stephen, the next one up.
Yeah, well, then Big Fish follows as our second show for this season. Big Fish, many people may remember the movie. This is a production that really is going to offer the creative team great opportunities for some real rich visual effects. It's a fantasy, the story of a man's life, the big fish tales. We learn about a witch he meets, a giant, and a mermaid. It's going to be really, really wonderful.
And then we move to the classic Tennessee Williams Glass Menagerie, directed by Jeff Sanders. He's going to put a different spin, more of a modern day twist, it sounds like he's going to put on this show. So that's going to be very exciting to see how this show in particular develops. And again, this is another one of our chestnut dramas.
Yeah, but it's wonderful. And a wonderful director. Jeff Sanders it's a perfect person to handle this.
Absolutely.
And then what's up after Glass Menagerie?
Following Glass Menagerie, we have Black Comedy, directed by Debbie Neal. This is a farcical comedy where what we as audience see on stage is actually happening in the dark. So when the lights are up on stage, we're watching these characters fumble and buffoon themselves through this very funny story.
And then our second musical, Big Fish was our first musical. Our second one is the very anticipated, exciting Hairspray, which is directed by Robert Sahlberg. We are thrilled to have this one in our season. And I think the big anticipation is, how is Robert going to handle the big can of hairspray on stage?
What's next?
So following that, we have Ken Ludwig's A Comedy of Tenors, directed by Jennifer Jimsweski. This is a strong piece. Many people know it. It's a follow-up to Lend Me a Tenor, set in 1930s Paris, where much mayhem happens.
A lot of doors?
A lot of opening and closing of doors. Right. Romance behind each one, perhaps.
Oh, my.
And then there's a really interestingly titled holiday show. Tell us a little bit about that one, Laura.
Our final show of the season is a holiday show. It is called In-Laws, Outlaws, and Other People That Should Be Shot, directed by Karen McCarty.
How is that a holiday show?
My definition of the show is it is a combination of Home Alone and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This family gets involved with two individuals that were robbing a neighborhood liquor store, held hostage in their home. And as more family and individuals, neighbors, kids come into this, the growing number of individuals becomes very hilarious. And understand these are very dim-witted, ill-prepared robbers.
It sounds like fun. And it's so exciting to have a new theater experience at Christmas other than the Christmas Carol.
I can't recall if that show's ever been produced in any of the local theaters here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. So that's very exciting to try something new.
Yes.
Well, from Tennessee Williams to Incompetent Thieves, it looks like Pentacle Theatre has a great 2025 season coming up. Stephen, how can people get tickets for these shows?
The best way to get tickets is to visit our website, pentacletheatre.org. Lots of information about each individual show, also information about season tickets. Current season ticket holders are renewing their season tickets right now with a renewal deadline of September 1st, while we're also taking reservations for new ticket holders to secure their seats for the entire season. Shortly after that, we'll be going on sale single tickets.
So there's a lot of possibilities if you want season tickets or if you just want to see Black comedy, for example.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. At the moment, season tickets are what's available. But as we get closer to each opening, then individual ticket sales will be available for each production as we get closer.
We've been talking with Pentacle Theatre Executive Director Stephen Trahan and Script Reading Committee Chair Laura Davis about Pentacle Theatre's 2025 season. Season tickets are now on sale. You can go to pentacletheatre.org to find out more about the 2025 season. It starts in January with Arsenic and Old Lace, followed by Big Fish, The Glass Menagerie, Black Comedy, Hairspray, A Comedy of Tenors, and In-Laws, Outlaws, and Other People That Should Be Shot. There's something for everyone at Pentacle Theatre in 2025. Thank you so much, Stephen and Laura, for joining us here on KMUZ Theatre Talk.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, Ann, Ed, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Lovely to be on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it.
It's time to wind up today's KMUZ Theatre Talk program. Thank you for joining us. Next Friday at 9 a.m., tune in to KMUZ at 100.7 FM to hear Talking About Art with Joel Zach. KMUZ Theatre Talk is a proud member of the Mid-Valley Theatre Network.
KMUZ Theatre Talk comes your way at 9 a.m. the first and third Friday of the month on your radio or smart speaker at 100.7 and 88.5 FM, on your favorite radio app, or streaming live at kmuz.org. You can also listen to KMUZ Theatre Talk anytime, wherever you get your podcasts.
Ed and I return September 6th with a brand new KMUZ Theatre Talk program. Meanwhile, check out our KMUZ Theatre Talk Facebook page for news and updates about live theater in the Mid-Willamette Valley.
If you haven't yet joined in to support KMUZ Theatre Talk and the rest of KMUZ's great community radio programs, go to kmuz.org right now, click on the Pledge to Your Favorite Show box, and choose KMUZ Theatre Talk. And thanks for your support. Until next time,
We'll see you in the front row.